The global material footprint increased by about 70% in the last 2 decades. And to sustain our current lifestyle habits, we'd need almost 3 planets by 2050. A major aspect of this comes from the consumer level. Now, if we go deep into the problem, we find that there's a major lack of awareness and will in people to make a change for environmental good. The solution to the problem is that of EcoScore. Now, EcoScore has two aspects. Number one being EcoScore for consumers, and number two being EcoScore for products. To begin with, EcoScore for consumers or users like me and you is a value between 100 and 600, assessing and incentivizing a person on the basis of their individual environmental impact. Similar to how the credit score works in the financial system and actually makes people credit worthy, is how EcoScore would work in the environmental arena. Now, an obvious question would be, how do we calculate EcoScore? For that, we have 4 parameters. Number one, the ratio of a person's green consumption to non-green consumption. Number two, how minimalistic of a consumer are you? What is the ratio of your consumption to that of an average person? Number three, the quantity of the electricity a person consumes and the kind of electricity a person consumes. Lastly, the quantity and the quality of initiatives a person takes to take care of the environment. For all of these parameters, we have calculation formulas, ratios, and proportions all chalked out. Now, a key feature of this would be EcoCard. EcoCard would contain a unique eco-identification number using which we would identify each of our users, and it would also act as a medium of transfer of information from the user and our organization. So how the use case of this would work is, let's say I am a consumer and I go to the market, I purchase 5 products. I don't exactly know the environmental impact of each of the product, so I use our app using which I would get to know the environmental impact of each of the product. Now further on, when I purchase those products, an e-bill would be generated alongside which the EcoScore of all the products purchased would be transferred back on the unique eco-identification number, and that's how we would receive it. Now we'll store it in our database, and using all of the calculation parameters and formulas, on a monthly basis, we'll revise the EcoScore and give it back to the consumer. This brings me to the second aspect of EcoScore, which is EcoScore for products. EcoScore for products solves the problem of a lack of awareness and information in the market with regards to the environmental impact of a product purchased. EcoScore would be calculated on the basis of an economic input-output life cycle assessment, an EIOLCA model, within which we use mathematical modeling, a lot of matrices, and environmental parameters like ecotoxicity, photochemical oxidation, eutrophication, global warming, etc. to calculate the environmental impact that each product and each sector has. We live in a linear economy model, which is a take, make, use, and waste model. So that's exactly the life cycle a product goes through. Now, how do we use this to calculate the environmental impact of every product is, we analyze take, which is where does the product come from, which resources were extracted to make this product, and then we go on to make, which analyzes the manufacturing of the product, the sector that it comes from, or what kind of packaging the product used. And further, we'll go on to use and waste, wherein we analyze if the product is biodegradable or non-biodegradable.
Now to move on to explaining the code from here. The code is written in Python and uses OCR, optical character recognition, image detection, and computer vision to analyze the product. Our code requires the front image, the image of the ingredients, and barcodes from the user. Once the user enters the image of the product, our AI model reads the ingredients from the back of the image, and using sectoral classification and applying all the formulas, it returns the EcoScore. Example, as you can see on the screen, we have used a sustainable face wash, and by providing its image, we can get its score on the output window.
Now that you have EcoScore, to help you with the environmental impact of each purchase that you make and the kind of impact that you have on the environment, your proximity to a green difference is closer.